The morning started like any other morning on Earth. People went to work, children went to school, and the world kept turning. Nobody expected that day to be the day everything changed forever. Captain Jiwon Park stood on the bridge of her ship, the Defiant. She was looking at the stars through the window, drinking her coffee. Jiwon was 42 years old and had spent 20 years in space. She had seen many things, but nothing could prepare her for what was about to happen. The alarm started ringing. Red lights flashed everywhere. Her crew members ran to their stations. Something big was happening. "Captain, we have unknown ships appearing near Earth," said one of her officers. His voice was shaking. "There are more ships appearing near Mars and the Moon, too." Jiwon put down her coffee and walked to the main screen. What she saw made her blood run cold. Huge ships, bigger than anything humans had ever built, were appearing out of nowhere. They just materialized in space like magic. There were dozens of them. Back on Earth, Chancellor Minho Choi was in a meeting when his assistant burst through the door. The assistant's face was white with fear. Minho had been the leader of the Unified Earth Council for 10 years. He had solved many problems, stopped many wars between countries. But this was different. "Sir, we need you in the command center right now," his assistant said. Minho hurried to the command center deep underground. When he arrived, he saw dozens of people running around, talking on phones, looking at screens. Everyone looked scared. General Taeyang Song was already there, standing straight like a soldier should. "What is happening?" Minho asked. Taeyang pointed at the big screen on the wall. "Alien ships, sir. They appeared 15 minutes ago. We count over 50 vessels. They are not responding to our communication attempts." Then all the screens in the command center changed. They all showed the same image. It was not a human face. It was something else. The creature had 4 eyes and skin that looked like metal. When it spoke, the words came out in perfect English. "People of Earth," the alien said. Its voice was cold and emotionless. "I am speaking on behalf of the galactic sovereignty. Your species has been discovered. Your planet exists in sovereignty space without permission. This is a violation of galactic law," the alien continued. "You have 72 hours to surrender. You will become a client world of the sovereignty. Your resources will be allocated according to galactic regulations. Your people will follow sovereignty laws. If you refuse, we will eliminate all life on your planet. This is standard procedure. You have 72 hours." Then the screens went black. The command center was silent. Nobody knew what to say. Dr. Yunahan was in her laboratory when she got the emergency call. She was a scientist who studied languages. She was shy and preferred books to people. But now everyone needed her. She was the only person who could understand the alien message completely. When Yuna arrived at the command center, Minho took her to a quiet room. "We need to know everything about that message," he said. "Every word, every meaning. Can you help us?" Yuna studied the recording for hours. What she found was not good. The aliens meant exactly what they said. They had done this before to hundreds of other species. Surrender or die. Those were the only choices they offered. The next day, Minho called together all the world leaders. They met in a special video conference. Every president, every prime minister, every leader was there. The whole world was watching. "We need to talk about our options," Minho said. He looked tired. He had not slept since the aliens arrived. "We can surrender. We can try to negotiate, or we can fight." Many leaders wanted to surrender. They said fighting was suicide. The aliens had technology that was hundreds of years ahead of humans. One leader said, "We cannot win. Better to live as subjects than die as heroes." But others disagreed. They remembered human history. Humans had always fought for freedom. Small groups had defeated big empires before. Maybe they could do it again. Taeyang spoke up. "I have been preparing for this for 20 years, he said. "Everyone thought I was crazy. But I knew aliens might come someday. I have plans. I have weapons. We can hurt them even if we cannot win." Minho tried to negotiate with the aliens. He sent messages. He offered trade, friendship, cooperation. The aliens did not care. They sent back the same message. "Surrender or die. You have 48 hours remaining." On the third day, Captain Jiwon Park made a decision. She broadcast a message without permission. She spoke directly to the people of Earth. "My name is Jiwon Park," she said. "I command the Defiant. I have been studying these alien ships. They are powerful, yes, but they are not invincible. They think we are weak. They think we will surrender without a fight. I say we prove them wrong." Her message spread across Earth in minutes. People shared it on every platform. Young pilot Hana Yoon was in the cafeteria when she saw it. She was 24 years old and had only been in the military for 3 years. She had never fought in a real battle. Now she might have to fight aliens. We are going to fight, aren't we? Hana asked her friend. Her friend nodded. Looks like it. I am scared. Me too, Hana said. But I would rather die fighting than live on my knees. With 12 hours left, the Unified Earth Council took a vote. Every country had one vote. The world held its breath. When the counting finished, the result was clear. Earth would not surrender. Minho stood before the cameras. His hands were shaking, but his voice was strong. Today, humanity makes a choice, he said. We choose freedom over safety. We choose to fight for our right to exist as free beings. To the galactic sovereignty, we say this. Earth is not for sale. We will not kneel. Come and take our world if you can, but know that we will make you pay for every inch of ground. The message was sent to the alien ships. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then the aliens responded. Their ships began to power up their weapons. The time for talking was over. G1 stood on the bridge of the Defiant. Around her, the entire Earth fleet was assembling. There were not many ships, maybe 200 in total. Against them were 50 alien vessels, each one more powerful than 10 human ships. G1 opened a channel to all the human ships. This is Captain Park, she said. Today we fight for our home. Today we show the galaxy that humanity does not surrender. We are the children of warriors. We crossed oceans in wooden boats. We split the atom. We walked on the moon. We will not bow to aliens who think they own the stars. Stay strong. Stay brave. And remember, we fight not just for ourselves but for every species in the galaxy that was forced to kneel. Today we stand up. The alien ships moved forward. The human ships moved to meet them. Across Earth, billions of people watched their screens, praying, hoping, fearing. The battle for Earth was about to begin. Humanity had chosen war over surrender. Now they would learn if that choice meant survival. The alien ships fired first. Beams of blue energy cut through space, hitting the human defense stations around the moon. The stations exploded in bright flashes. Each flash meant hundreds of people died. The war had begun. Jiwon watched from the Defiant as 3 defense stations disappeared from her screen. She felt angry and sad, but she could not show it. Her crew needed her to be strong. All ships, move forward, she ordered. Do not stay back. Get close to them. Her officers looked confused. Usually, ships stayed far away from enemies. They fired weapons from a distance. But Jiwon had a plan. The alien shields were strong against long-range weapons. But maybe they were weaker up close. The human fleet rushed forward. The aliens did not expect this. They were used to enemies who tried to run away or keep their distance. Humans were doing the opposite. They were charging straight at the alien ships. Hana sat in her fighter cockpit. Her hands gripped the controls tightly. She had trained for years, but training was not the same as real combat. Around her, hundreds of other fighters flew toward the alien fleet. Stay in formation, her squadron leader said over the radio. Wait for the signal. Hana watched as the Defiant and other big ships took hit after hit from alien weapons. Ships exploded. People died, but the human fleet kept moving forward. They were getting closer. Then Jiwon gave the order everyone was waiting for. All ships fire nuclear weapons. Full spread. Hundreds of missiles launched from the human ships. But these were not normal missiles. They were special nuclear weapons that Taeyang had been building in secret for 20 years. When they exploded, they did not just make a blast. They created focused beams of X-rays that could punch through shields. The first alien ship that got hit did not expect it. The X-ray beam went right through its shields and cut into the hull. The ship started to spin out of control. Then it exploded. On Earth, Taeyang watched the battle on screens in the command center. When he saw the first alien ship explode, he felt hope for the first time in days. It is working, he said to Minho. The nuclear-pumped lasers are getting through their shields. But the aliens learned fast. They changed their formations. They reinforced their shields. The next wave of missiles did not work as well. Hana got her signal. All fighters attack now! She pushed her fighter to maximum speed. The small ship shook as she flew through explosions and weapons fire. Her targeting computer locked onto an alien ship. She fired her missiles and then dove away, barely avoiding the aliens' return fire. Behind her, she saw 2 of her friend's fighters get hit. They exploded instantly. There was no time to feel sad. She had to keep fighting. Yuna was not on a ship. She was in the command center, working on something important. She had been studying the alien signals and found something interesting. The alien ships all talked to each other using a network, and that network had a weakness. I can hack into their communications, she told Taeyang. I can send them false information. Do it, Taeyang said immediately. Yuna started typing on her computer. She sent a virus into the alien network. It made some alien ships think they were being attacked by their own side. 3 alien ships turned and started firing at each other before they realized the mistake. The battle raged for hours. Ships on both sides were destroyed. Space was filled with debris and bodies. The Defiant was badly damaged. Half of Jiwon's crew was dead or injured, but she kept fighting. Then something unexpected happened. One of the big alien ships, a command vessel, suddenly exploded. Nobody knew why at first. Then Taeyang saw the data. A human kinetic weapon had hit it. These weapons were just big chunks of metal moving very fast. Simple but effective. With their command ship gone, the aliens became confused. Their formations fell apart. Human ships pressed the attack. Jiwon saw her chance. All ships focus fire on the damaged vessels, she ordered. Take them out one by one. The human fleet concentrated their fire. One alien ship exploded, then another, then another. The aliens were taking heavy losses. After 18 hours of fighting, something incredible happened. The alien fleet started to retreat. They were running away. Humanity had won the first battle, but the victory had cost a lot. More than half of Earth's ships were destroyed. Thousands of fighters were gone. Tens of thousands of people were dead. The moon's defenses were in ruins. Many satellites around Earth were destroyed. Jiwon sat in her damaged captain's chair. Her arm was bleeding from a piece of metal that had hit her during the battle. She looked at what was left of her crew. So many empty stations, so many friends gone. We won, one of her officers said quietly. We survived. Jiwon corrected him. The real fleet is still coming. This was just a small force. When the main alien army arrives, it will be 10 times bigger. On Earth, people celebrated in the streets. They had seen humans defeat aliens. They thought the war was over. But the leaders knew better. Minho addressed the planet. Today we achieved something incredible. We forced the galactic sovereignty to retreat. No species has done that in 50,000 years. But we must be realistic. This was one battle. The war is just beginning. They will come back with more ships better prepared. We have maybe 3 months before they return. We must use that time to build, to prepare, to get stronger. News of the battle spread through the galaxy faster than light. On hundreds of alien worlds, people heard that humans had fought the sovereignty and won. Some aliens thought it was a lie. Others felt hope for the first time in generations. The sovereignty leaders were shocked and angry. They held an emergency meeting. Some wanted to send the entire fleet to destroy Earth immediately. Others said they needed to study how humans fought and prepare better tactics. One old alien leader said, "These humans fight differently than anyone we have faced. They do not care about their own lives. They charge when they should retreat. They use primitive weapons in clever ways. They are dangerous." The sovereignty decided to send a massive fleet, 200 warships, enough to destroy 100 planets. They would arrive at Earth in 90 days. Back on Earth, Taeyang started organizing the defense. Every factory was converted to make weapons. Every shipyard worked day and night building new vessels. Civilian ships were armed and turned into warships. Even children helped, working in factories after school. Yuna continued studying the alien technology from the destroyed ships. Every piece of data could save lives. She barely slept, working 20 hours a day. Hana recovered from her injuries and started training new pilots. So many pilots had died in the battle. New ones needed to learn fast. She taught them everything she had learned. Stay fast. Do not fly straight. Make yourself hard to hit. And remember, every second you survive is another second you can fight. Jiwon repaired the Defiant and took command of the rebuilt fleet. More ships were joining every day, but they needed more time. Time they did not have. 90 days felt like both forever and no time at all. Everyone knew what was coming. The aliens were bringing an armada that could crush Earth easily. The first battle had been won through surprise and luck. The next battle would be different. The aliens would be ready, but humanity refused to give up. They had tasted victory. They had proved aliens could bleed. Now they would prepare to face the storm that was coming. The 90 days passed quickly. Too quickly. Earth changed during that time. Cities that once showed bright lights at night now went dark to save power. Every bit of energy went to building weapons and ships. The whole planet became one big military base. Taeyang worked without rest. His plan was simple but massive. Turn the entire solar system into a trap. Every planet, every moon, every asteroid would have weapons hidden on it. The aliens would have to fight for every mile of space. On the outer edge of the solar system near Neptune, they placed sensors and mines. Not enough to stop the alien fleet, but enough to slow them down and give Earth warning. Around Jupiter, they built the most dangerous trap. Hidden on Jupiter's moons were huge electromagnetic launchers. These machines could throw large pieces of metal at incredible speeds. When something moves fast enough, it does not need explosives. The speed itself becomes the weapon. The asteroid belt was filled with thousands of automated guns and drones. Every big rock hit a weapon. Every shadow could be dangerous. Mars became the main defensive position. The rebuilt human fleet gathered there. Jiwon commanded 200 ships. It sounded like a lot, but it was still much smaller than the alien armada that was coming. Around Earth and the Moon, they built the final defense. Giant shields powered by fusion reactors, surface weapons that could shoot into space, and the secret weapon that nobody talked about hidden on the Moon. During this time, Yuna made an important discovery. She found that some aliens were sending secret messages to Earth. These aliens were from species that the sovereignty had conquered long ago. They wanted to help humans fight. One group called themselves the Kyriel. Their planet had been destroyed by the sovereignty hundreds of years ago. The survivors lived as refugees, moving from place to place. Their leader sent a message to Yuna. "We cannot fight openly," the message said, "but we can help. We know their tactics. We know their weaknesses. We thought resistance was impossible. You proved us wrong." The Kyriel sent information about how sovereignty fleets fought. They sent technical data. They sent supplies when they could. It was dangerous for them, but they did it anyway. Hana spent the 90 days training new pilots. Most of them were young, younger than her. Some were still teenagers. They learned fast because they had to. She taught them to fly like she flew. Fast, unpredictable, aggressive. The aliens have better ships, she told her students. They have better weapons. But they fly in straight lines. They follow rules. We will not. We will do things they do not expect. On day 89, the sensors near Neptune detected something. The alien fleet had arrived. 200 massive warships dropped out of faster-than-light travel. The size of the fleet was terrifying. Each ship was bigger than anything humans had ever built. The alien commander sent one last message to Earth. "You fought well in the first battle." That surprised us. "But this time will be different. Surrender now and we will allow your leaders to live. Refuse and we will turn your planet into ash. You have 1 hour to respond." Minho did not need an hour. He responded immediately. "Our answer is the same as before, no." The alien fleet began moving toward Earth. As they passed Neptune, the first mines exploded. They did little damage, but they announced that humans would fight for every inch of space. The fleet reached the area between Neptune and Jupiter. More mines exploded. More traps activated. The aliens lost a few small ships, but the fleet kept coming. Then they reached Jupiter. The aliens scanned the moons but did not see the hidden launchers. They thought Jupiter was just another empty area to pass through. They were wrong. Taeyang gave the order. Fire everything. The electromagnetic launchers on all of Jupiter's moons fired at once. Hundreds of metal projectiles, each one moving at a significant fraction of the speed of light, shot toward the alien fleet. The aliens' energy shields were designed to stop lasers and plasma weapons. They were not designed to stop solid metal moving at relativistic speeds. The projectiles punched through the shields like they were paper. 15 alien capital ships exploded in the first minute. The fleet scattered in panic. They had never faced this kind of attack before. But the aliens learned and adapted. They targeted Jupiter's moons with their most powerful weapons. Europa exploded first, its icy surface vaporized in seconds. Then Ganymede was destroyed. The aliens were sacrificing moons to eliminate the human weapons. Hana and her fighter squadron launched from a hidden base. They flew through the chaos around Jupiter, dodging debris and weapons fire. Her mission was to attack the alien command ships. Her fighters were loaded with nuclear missiles. They had to get close to use them. Very close. Most of her squadron would not survive. She knew this. They all knew this. Stay tight, she told her pilots. Follow me in. Fire everything you have. Then get out if you can. They dove toward the largest alien ship. Point defense guns shot at them. Fighters exploded all around Hana. She kept flying. She got within range and fired all her missiles. Then she pulled up hard, her fighter shaking from the stress. Behind her, nuclear explosions lit up space. 3 command ships were damaged. 1 was destroyed. But 80% of her squadron was gone. 80 pilots dead in 2 minutes. The battered alien fleet moved on toward the asteroid belt. They were more careful now. They scanned everything. They moved slowly. The asteroid belt became a nightmare for them. Every rock could hide a weapon. Automated drones swarmed out of hiding places. Small bombs disguised as asteroids floated near the alien ships and then exploded. Human submarines hid inside hollowed-out asteroids and ambushed passing vessels. The aliens fought their way through, destroying thousands of human weapons. But it took time. Days of slow, careful progress. And every day cost them more ships and crew. Finally, they reached Mars. This was where the main battle would happen. Ji-won waited with the human fleet. She had 200 ships against 140 alien vessels. The aliens had lost 60 ships getting here, but they were still stronger. The battle for Mars lasted 3 days. It was brutal and desperate. Human ships used their speed and maneuverability to avoid direct fights. They struck fast and then ran. They attacked from unexpected angles. They used the sun to blind sensors. They used every trick they could think of. Ji-won commanded from the Defiant. Her ship was hit many times but kept fighting. She watched as her fleet slowly got smaller. So many good people dying, but they were taking alien ships with them. On the 3rd day, Taeyang made a terrible decision. He was on Mars, commanding the planetary defenses. The battle was turning against humans. They were losing, so he did something desperate. Mars had huge fusion reactors that powered the cities and defenses. Taeyang overloaded all of them at once. The electromagnetic pulse from the explosions knocked out electronics on both human and alien ships. Everything stopped working. In the chaos, ships drifted helplessly. Crews worked frantically to restart systems. Some ships came back online quickly. Others never did. The electromagnetic pulse had crippled both fleets. When the battle ended, Mars was burning. Half the alien fleet was destroyed or disabled, but the human fleet was almost completely gone. Only 12 ships escaped, including the Defiant. Taeyang died on Mars. He stayed behind to make sure the reactors overloaded properly. His last message to Minho was simple. Buy Earth as much time as I can. Tell them I am sorry I could not do more. The remaining 60 alien ships limped toward Earth. They were damaged and tired, but still deadly. Earth's final defense was about to be tested. Ji-won brought her 12 ships back to Earth. She knew they could not win a direct fight. But they could buy time. Time for the secret weapon on the moon to charge up. Time for one last surprise. As the alien fleet approached Earth, Yuna activated the Luna Array, the gravity manipulation devices that had taken decades to build. Humanity's last hope. 5 years passed. Earth looked different now. The blue planet was surrounded by rebuilt space stations and defensive platforms. To visitors, it looked peaceful. But humans had learned their lesson. Every civilian station hid weapons. Every trade ship could become a warship. Earth looked peaceful but was ready for war. Ji-won Park became Admiral Park. She did not die on the Defiant. That was her second-in-command who took her place at the last moment. Ji-won had protested, but the officer knocked her unconscious and put her in an escape pod. Now she commanded not just Earth's rebuilt fleet, but ships from 20 other species who wanted to learn human tactics. Yuna became Earth's representative to the Galactic Sovereignty Council. It was supposed to be a powerless position. Representatives from client worlds could speak but not vote. But Yuna changed the role. She spoke for species who had no voice. She formed alliances. She made the sovereignty listen. Her biggest achievement was the Mutual Defense Compact. 23 species signed an agreement to defend each other. The sovereignty allowed it because technically it was legal, but in reality it was the first military alliance independent of sovereignty control in recorded history. Minho was older now, his hair completely gray. But he was still chancellor. His plan was simple but long-term.
Change the galaxy from within.
He could not defeat the sovereignty with weapons, so he would defeat them with ideas. He opened a university on Earth. Students from hundreds of alien species came to learn. The curriculum taught science and technology, but also human history and philosophy. Students learned about democracy, about rights, about governments that served their people rather than ruling them. Thousands of aliens studied on Earth and then returned home with new ideas. The sovereignty could not stop it without violating their own laws about cultural exchange. Minho was fighting a war with education instead of bullets. Hana left military service and became an engineer. She helped design new ships that combined human creativity with alien technology. Within 5 years, human ships matched sovereignty vessels in power. Some were even better. Earth's industry grew rapidly. The Sol system produced more goods than many old alien worlds. Human weapons appeared on markets across the galaxy. The sovereignty became worried. This client world was becoming too powerful, too influential. Then the Chiral made their move. The refugees had been planning for years. They wanted to reclaim their destroyed homeworld. They asked Earth for help. Not soldiers, but training and supplies. Admiral Jiwan personally trained Chiral commanders. She taught them the tactics that had bloodied the sovereignty fleet. When the Chiral launched their campaign, they fought like humans. Fast, aggressive, unpredictable. The sovereignty faced a crisis. If they crushed the Chiral brutally, they proved that all of humanity's accusations about tyranny were true. If they negotiated, they set a precedent that other species could challenge sovereignty rule through resistance. Yuna mediated the negotiations. After months of talks, the Chiral won autonomous status similar to Earth. They could govern themselves and rebuild their world. The precedent was set. Client worlds could earn freedom through courage. The sovereignty began to fracture. Some member species wanted to crush Earth and its allies. Others argued for reforms. Still others just wanted to maintain the status quo. The ancient alliance that had ruled for 50,000 years started showing serious cracks. 10 years after the war, the Sovereignty Council held a critical debate. The hardliners proposed a massive military operation to properly subjugate Earth and dissolve the Mutual Defense Compact. They said humanity was a cancer that would destroy galactic civilization. Admiral Jiwan received intelligence about the proposal. She prepared Earth for war again, but this time, 47 species pledged to fight alongside humanity. If war came, it would tear the galaxy apart. Minho, now very old, decided to speak directly to the Sovereignty Council. It would be his last great act before retirement. He traveled to the galactic capital, something no human had done before. He stood before the council, a small human facing representatives of 800 species. Many were much larger than him. Some looked like they could kill him with one blow. But Minho did not show fear. "You face a choice," he said. "Attempt to crush humanity and our allies in a war that will cost millions of lives. Or recognize that the galaxy has changed. For 50,000 years you maintained peace through overwhelming force. That era is ending," he continued. "We offer a different path. Restructure the sovereignty into a true confederation, where member species have genuine representation. Grant client worlds the rights we demanded. Create a galaxy where peace comes from mutual respect, not fear. Yes, it means sharing power, but the alternative is endless war." The council debated for months. The galaxy watched. Finally, by a narrow vote, they adopted reforms. The sovereignty would restructure. Client worlds would get representation and autonomy. Military force would be a last resort, not the first response. But not everyone accepted the reforms. 23 species rejected the changes and formed the imperial sovereignty. They believed the old ways were correct. They thought humanity had corrupted the galaxy with weakness. The galaxy divided into two camps. Earth became a major power in the reformed Galactic Federation, as the new government was called. Admiral Jiwan commanded the Federation's defensive forces. She implemented doctrines that emphasized protection rather than conquest. Yuna became the Federation's Secretary of Interspecies Relations. She worked to heal divisions and help former client worlds become equal partners. Her patience and intelligence transformed galactic culture slowly but surely. Hana returned to space as a captain. She commanded the new UES Defiant II, named after the ship that had sacrificed itself. She led exploration missions beyond known space, seeking new species and offering them partnership rather than subjugation. 20 years after the galaxy demanded Earth's surrender, humanity reflected on the journey. The cost had been terrible. 8 billion dead, Mars destroyed, Countless lives changed forever. But Earth had achieved something unprecedented. They had not just saved themselves. They had changed galactic civilization. The sovereignty that once ruled through fear now competed with a federation built on cooperation. Species that once had no hope now had examples to follow. The imperial sovereignty remained a threat. They were convinced the old ways were correct. Conflict was inevitable, but when it came, humanity would not stand alone. Dozens of species had learned from Earth that freedom was worth fighting for. Minho gave one final speech before he retired. He was 90 years old, his body weak but his mind still sharp. They demanded we surrender, he said. We chose war not because we wanted to fight, but because some things are worth dying for. He looked at the camera, speaking to all of humanity and to the galaxy beyond. We were one species against an empire of 800. We should have lost in days, but we stand here 20 years later, having not just survived but thrived, not because humans are superior, but because we refused to accept that our story was already written. We showed the galaxy that history belongs to those brave enough to write their own chapters. The galaxy demanded Earth surrender. Humanity chose war instead, and in doing so, we did not just save ourselves. We saved the idea that freedom is worth fighting for, that tyranny can be resisted, and that even the smallest voice can echo across the stars if it refuses to be silenced. Admiral Jiwan stood on the bridge of the defiant Disandu, now very old herself. Young officers from 20 different species served under her command. They had all trained in human tactics. They all believed in human ideals. She watched the border between the Federation and Imperial sovereignty. Sensors showed Imperial ships on the other side, watching and waiting. Another war would come someday, but humanity would be ready. She thought about Taiyang, who died on Mars, about her crew on the original Defiant, about the billions who died so Earth could remain free. They had paid the price. Now it was her generation's duty to make sure that price was not wasted. The galaxy was still dangerous. The Imperial sovereignty wanted to restore the old order. But now there was an alternative. Now there was proof that empires could fall, that resistance could succeed, that free people could defend their rights. Humanity had entered the galaxy as unknowns. They were dismissed as primitives told to surrender or die. Instead, they fought. They bled, they sacrificed, and they won something more valuable than any military victory. They won respect. They won dignity. They won the right to exist as free beings in a galaxy that had forgotten what freedom meant. The galaxy demanded Earth surrender. Humanity chose war instead, and that choice, that moment of defiance, changed everything. It proved that no empire, no matter how ancient or powerful, is truly invincible. It proved that courage matters. It proved that some things are worth fighting for, no matter the odds. That was humanity's gift to the galaxy. Not weapons or technology or tactics, though they shared all of those. Their true contribution was reminding the universe that the future is not predetermined. That resistance is possible. That free beings do not kneel. And as long as that idea lived, as long as species remembered what Earth did when faced with impossible odds, the galaxy would never be the same. The Luna Array came to life. On the moon's surface, hidden under fake mining stations, were devices that could bend gravity itself. Scientists had worked on them for 30 years. Most people thought it was impossible. But now Earth's survival depended on making the impossible real. Una pressed the activation button. The devices powered up slowly. They needed enormous amounts of energy. Every reactor on the moon was feeding power into them. The alien fleet approached Earth, confident of their victory. They had lost many ships, but 60 vessels were still more than enough to destroy one planet. The alien commander prepared to give the order to begin bombardment. Then the Luna Array fired. The first alien ship caught in the gravitational field simply tore apart. The forces were so strong that the ship's hull ripped like paper. 20 more ships were caught in the fields. They twisted and broke and exploded. The surviving alien ships scattered in panic. They had never seen a weapon like this. Nothing in their experience prepared them for a device that could rip space-time itself. But Una had discovered a problem too late. The Luna Array needed hours to recharge between shots. They had fired once. Now they had to wait 6 hours before they could fire again, and the aliens were already figuring this out. The alien commander was old and experienced. He quickly understood the weapon's limitation. He pulled his ships back beyond the range of the gravity fields. Then he ordered his fleet to begin long-range bombardment. They would destroy Earth from a distance where the Luna Array could not reach them. Jiwan watched as alien weapons started hitting Earth's orbital stations. She had 12 ships left. 12 ships against 40 aliens. She could not win, but she could disrupt their attack. She could buy time. All ships, she said over the radio. This is probably our last mission. We are going to charge right into them. Make them scatter. Make them chase us. Every minute they spend fighting us is one more minute our families on Earth get to live. Hana was on one of those 12 ships. She had survived everything so far through luck and skill. She knew her luck was running out, but she did not care anymore. Too many friends were dead. Mars was destroyed. Earth was about to burn. If she was going to die, she would die fighting. The 12 human ships attacked. They moved fast, using the last of their fuel and ammunition. They targeted the alien ships that were bombarding Earth's defenses. Jiwan had one more plan. A desperate plan. The Luna array could not fire for 6 hours, but individual nodes could fire sooner if they did not coordinate. She could use them to create gravitational slingshots. They could throw human ships at incredible speeds directly into enemy vessels. She contacted Yuna. "Can you fire single nodes independently?" "Yes," Yuna replied, "but it will burn them out. We can only do it once per node." "Do it," Jiwan ordered. "Use my ship first." The Defiant flew toward a gravity node. At the precise moment the node activated, the gravitational field grabbed the ship and slung it forward at impossible speed. The Defiant became a missile, moving so fast that it could not be stopped. Jiwan aimed her ship at the largest alien vessel. She had seconds before impact. She thought about her life, her career, her crew. She smiled. She had fought well. Humanity had fought well. The Defiant hit the alien flagship at relativistic speed. The explosion was massive. Both ships disintegrated instantly. The flagship and its commander were gone. 7 more human ships used the same tactic. 7 more alien capital ships destroyed. Hana watched her captain and friends sacrifice themselves. She wanted to join them, but her ship was ordered to retreat. Someone needed to survive to tell the story. The alien fleet was down to 35 operational ships. They had started with 200. Humanity had killed 165 alien vessels. But there was nothing left to stop the remaining ships. Then something unexpected happened. The alien fleet stopped attacking. They pulled back to a safe distance. They sent a message to Earth. The new alien commander appeared on screens across Earth. "Humans," it said, "your resistance has been noted. The Sovereignty Council has authorized new terms. Surrender now, and Earth will be granted autonomous client status. You will govern yourselves. We will not occupy your world, but you will acknowledge sovereignty authority in galactic affairs." The alien paused. "The alternative is that we destroy your planet from beyond your weapons range. It will take days, but we will succeed. Your choice. You have 12 hours to decide." Minho sat in the command center, surrounded by advisors and military leaders. The choice was terrible. Accept limited freedom or face total extinction. Earth's defenses were exhausted. The Luna array needed hours to recharge. There were no more tricks to pull. Yuna studied the alien offer carefully. It was unprecedented. The Sovereignty had never offered autonomy before. Client worlds were always directly controlled. This was different. "It means we would control our own government," she explained to Minho. "We would have our own laws, our own military, but we would have to follow certain sovereignty rules. We could not expand without permission. We could not attack other species. We would be part of their system, but with more freedom than any other client world has ever had." Hana landed her damaged ship on Earth. She was one of 40 survivors from the Defiant's original crew of 800. She stood in the command center, still in her flight suit, and spoke to the council. "Captain Jiwan Park died to give us this chance," she said. "Commander Taeyang Song died for it. Billions of people died for it. We fought better than anyone thought possible. We hurt them badly, but we cannot win. If we refuse this offer, everyone dies. Everything we fought for will be lost. We proved we can resist. Now we have to be smart enough to know when to stop." The debate went on for hours. Some wanted to fight to the end. Better to die free than live under alien authority, they said. Others argued that survival mattered. Dead people have no freedom at all. While Earth debated, something else was happening across the galaxy. News of humanity's resistance had spread everywhere. On 17 planets, subject peoples began protesting. They demanded the same autonomy Earth was being offered. Some even began small rebellions. The Kirill refugees watched from their hidden bases. Their leader sent a message to Yuna. Whatever you choose, you have already won. You showed the galaxy that the sovereignty can be hurt. You showed that resistance is possible. That idea is more powerful than any weapon. After 12 hours, Minho made his announcement. Earth would accept the terms, but with additional demands. Humanity wanted the right to keep its military. They wanted to maintain control of the entire Sol system. They wanted access to galactic technology and trade. And they wanted the right to speak for other species in sovereignty councils. The aliens were desperate to end the war. Unrest was spreading across the galaxy. They needed to show that the sovereignty could be reasonable, so they accepted almost all of Earth's demands. The treaty was signed aboard Hana's ship, the last surviving vessel from the Battle of Earth. Minho represented humanity. The alien commander represented the sovereignty. Neither side was happy, but both recognized reality. Minho kept his pistol on his belt during the ceremony. He wanted the aliens to remember that Earth had bent but never broke. The symbolism was not lost on anyone watching across the galaxy. When it was done, Minho addressed the people of Earth. We did not win the war in the way we hoped. But we did not lose either. We remain free to govern ourselves. We control our own destiny. 8 billion people died to achieve this. Mars is gone. Our fleet is destroyed. But Earth survives as an independent world. He paused, looking at the camera. The sovereignty demanded we surrender. We chose war instead. And because we did, we earned something no other species has earned in 50,000 years. Respect. We are not subjects. We are partners. Remember the cost. Remember the fallen. And remember that some things are worth fighting for no matter the odds. The alien fleet left Sol system slowly, their ships damaged and their crews exhausted. They had accomplished their mission, technically. Earth was now part of the sovereignty. But everyone knew the truth. Humanity had won something more important than military victory. They had won their dignity. Yuna stood on Earth and looked up at the stars. Somewhere out there, the Kirill were planning their own resistance. Other species were questioning sovereignty rule. The galaxy was changing because humanity had refused to kneel. Hana visited the memorial being built for the fallen. So many names. Too many names. But they had not died for nothing. They had died to prove that free beings do not surrender, no matter the cost. Earth began to rebuild. The war was over, but the story was just beginning. Humanity had entered the galactic stage not as conquered subjects, but as equals who had earned their place through blood and courage. The galaxy would never be the same.